dark underside of the great benefits of technology. We all feel pressured and harried and are expected to do ever more faster.
Imagine being abandoned in the middle of nowhere with no access to a phone, refrigerator, or toilet paper. Would you be able to live? Most likely not.
Some technology experts may worry that we may develop technology addictions and actually disengage from human interactions due, at least in part, to social media.
We've grown so accustomed to contemporary amenities that it seems impossible to imagine living without them. These game changers are more important than you might think, from the fundamentals we ignore to the technology we take for granted. You'll be left wondering how you ever got along without number one. So stay put. Are you prepared to be astounded? Let's get started. Soap. You may believe that soap is only for Instagram-worthy hands, but without it, you're essentially a walking bacterial feast. One of the most potent creations in human history, soap has more than just a pleasant scent. Prior to its invention, most people crossed their fingers and rinsed with water. We decreased the transmission of diseases like smallpox, cholera, and more recently, COVID-19, by practicing frequent hand washing. And here's the thing, more than 5,000 years ago, the Babylonians were producing soap. It's older than Roman roads, older than pyramids, and unquestionably older than your grandmother's grandmother's grandmothers. Well, you get the idea. We've gone a long way since those rough bars. We have frothy cleansers that smell like lavender dreams, antimicrobial gels, and perfumed soaps. The fundamental alchemy, however, is still the same behind all the glitzy packaging, keeping us healthy, clean, and much less contagious. Now that you're squeaky clean, let's roll into the next invention, literally, the wheel. Without the wheel, where would we be? Stuck, literally. A lot of walking and hauling things about like it's the Stone Age, with no automobiles, planes, or pizza delivery. The first wheels were created more than 5,500 years ago, yet they weren't even utilized for transportation. They were a component of tools used to make pottery. However, everything changed when someone said, "Hey, we can roll stuff on this." The wheel transformed our way of life and transportation, from transporting supplies across old highways to moving enormous stones for pyramids. Bikes, buses, bags, office chairs, skateboards, and even the tiny rotating plate in your microwave are all made of wheels these days. Wheels got us moving, but this next invention got us connected and distracted. The internet. Technically speaking, you can live without TikTok. However, do you truly wish to? Imagine a world without kitten videos, memes, or how to boil water guides when you're in the middle of a cooking emergency. The internet has changed the way we live, learn, work, and connect. It's not just a place to pass the time. Almost every aspect of human life has been transformed by the internet, from online learning to life-saving medical research. At midnight, do you need to diagnose a strange rash? Online. Do you want to fix a leaking faucet, learn to play the guitar, or ace your finals? Online. Want to spend 3 hours watching dogs wear sunglasses? The internet, you guessed it.
The net is made up of some 12,000 individual computer networks.
Critics say one danger is this could turn out to be an elitist system, one available only to people with a computer and a modem.
It's also where you wind up doom scrolling at 2 in the morning, wondering where the last 5 hours have gone. Let's face it, the internet, which was only created a few decades ago, is now as necessary as electricity.
Excessive use of the internet is reshaping teenage brains. That's according to a new study by researchers at the University College London.
And are you currently viewing this? Congratulations, you're hooked already. We all are. Don't pass judgment. The internet is essential to modern life. It is more than just a tool. Of course, without electricity, the internet's just a bunch of wires and sad routers. Electricity. From heating up a midnight taco to powering your most recent 18-hour Netflix marathon, electricity powers practically every aspect of your life. Not with it? Greetings from a world of candles, chilly food, and complete mayhem. Just you and your thoughts. No lights, no charges, no Wi-Fi, no streaming. Yikes. Electricity is constantly working in the background, enabling everything you do, from turning on the lights, to brewing your third cup of coffee, to browsing social media. Therefore, keep in mind that the contemporary world is not just uncomfortable, but nearly uninhabitable without power. The next time there is a blackout, and you are sitting in the dark, and now that the lights are on, let's clear things up, visually. Eyeglasses. Over 2 billion individuals worldwide require vision aids. That's a lot of people who could unintentionally text their ex instead of their best friend. The unsung heroes of daily life. Eyeglasses transformed hazy blobs into sharp, high-def reality. Simple magnifying lenses mounted in frames were the earliest spectacles created in the 13th century to aid scholars and monks in reading small handwritten texts. They have now developed into everything from sophisticated fashion pieces to sophisticated vision correction devices. Glasses improve visibility and safety, especially for drivers, whether of your nearsightedness, farsightedness, or anywhere in between. Furthermore, squinting at your screen until your forehead folds into an accordion isn't a sustainable option. Let's face it, millions would find it difficult to read, work, learn, or even recognize faces if they didn't have glasses. Not only is that inconvenient, but it might change your life. So remember this 700-year-old invention the next time you put on your glasses and the world becomes clear. It may not be ostentatious, but one pair of lenses at a time, it has transformed billions of lives. Speaking of clear vision, you'll need it to spot the next essential when nature calls: toilet paper. Picture your life without toilet paper. You mean it's uncomfortable? People were incredibly imaginative before the soft, rollable marvel that we all know and adore. The 1800s saw the invention of modern toilet paper, which swiftly established itself as a necessity for civilized society. Clean, practical, and a significant improvement over nature's scratchy substitutes. All of a sudden, toilet paper was worth at least as much as its weight in gold. Toilet paper thus merits its place on the list of essential innovations, despite the fact that it is neither ostentatious nor sophisticated. But even clean bums can't protect us from everything, which brings us to some serious lifesavers: vaccines. Vaccines are the ultimate cheat code for humanity. By saving millions of lives and shielding entire communities from fatal diseases, they have altered the path of history. Smallpox? Lost. A case of polio? Almost gone. COVID-19? Controlled. Not to mention measles, tetanus, hepatitis, and a host of other diseases that once caused widespread suffering but are now mostly prevented because of vaccinations. Vaccines provide something uncommon in an uncertain world: peace of mind. This is a huge salute to science, public health heroes, and every small gesture that has a huge impact. They might have a tiny syringe, but what's the impact? Utterly enormous. Now that your immune system's locked and loaded, let's talk about keeping your snacks safe too. Refrigeration. I take it that you want your milk uncurdled? I believed so. Next came refrigeration. Everything altered because of this great invention. Food may now be securely stored for days or even weeks at a time. This resulted in significantly more snack selections, reduced waste, and fewer market trips. For breakfast, cold pizza? Indeed. Midnight ice cream? Of course. Sushi, frozen vegetables, and smoothies were all made possible by refrigeration. Comfort food isn't the only thing involved. Preserving medications, vaccinations, and life-saving blood supplies requires refrigeration. Grocery stores, hospitals, and even your modest kitchen rely on it. This cold champion, which was created in the 1800s and is now present in almost every home, keeps us protected, fed, and a little bit spoiled in the greatest manner possible. Take a moment to appreciate the science that keeps your food fresh and satisfies your midnight desires the next time you go for something cold and delectable from the refrigerator. Refrigerated life? Very cool. Cool food is great, but what about clean water to wash it down? Clean water systems. The unsung hero of contemporary life is tap water. With a single turn of the faucet, hydration, cleanliness, and the ability to cook, clean, and live a healthy life are all at your fingertips. We hardly give it any thought because it's so simple. However, life would be radically different, and not in a good way, without clean water systems. Water from wells or rivers had to be manually transported before the invention of modern plumbing, and it wasn't always safe to drink. Outbreaks of cholera, dysentery, typhoid, and other diseases were caused by contaminated water. This remains a painful reality in many parts of the world. When access to clean water is limited, disease spreads quickly. Think of it as cafe Wi-Fi, only much more harmful. With their amazing aqueduct networks, which used brilliant engineering to transport water around towns, The ancient Romans were early MVPs. Modern water treatment and piping, however, were what really made a difference. Today's clean water infrastructure, which includes sanitation and filtration, saves billions of lives every day. Therefore, keep in mind that clean water is not only practical, but also one of the greatest innovations in human history. The next time you fill a glass, wash your hands, or take a hot shower. And finally, the one invention that made all of these possible and helped us talk about it: language. First place isn't ostentatious. It isn't even connected. However, you couldn't be viewing, comprehending, or laughing at this without language. Whether we're discussing whether pineapple belongs on pizza, exchanging ideas, or narrating stories, language is the most powerful weapon that unites us all. We communicate our deepest feelings, warn one another of danger, and transmit knowledge from one generation to the next through language. It serves as a link between people, groups, and civilizations, enabling deep connections between us. We would be lost in a sea of silence without it. Although we have facial emotions, body language, and gestures, language is what gives them meaning. It enables us to express our ideas clearly, from intricate scientific theories to impromptu gags. Additionally, emojis have changed the way we communicate in the digital age, despite their beginnings as a quirky fad. They have given a dimension of fun and originality to language, but they have also made some talks a little more colorful and unclear. Humanity ultimately depends on communication. We wouldn't be able to communicate if it weren't the cornerstone of connection. Thus, keep in mind that these innovations genuinely alter the game the next time your Wi-Fi fails or your glasses fog up, without which would you be unable to survive? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe, like, and share so you don't miss any opportunities to learn new things and get by in today's world.